Welcome to Ole Walls house. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode 241 coming your way. Excuse me. I'm dying. Oh, God. Oh, pardon me. I'm dying over here. Oh, sorry. Episode 241 coming your way. My guy MJ is back with us this week to continue on our NFL preview. We're working our way around all the divisions, and he's back for week 2. So before we get to any of that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate all the watches, the listens, all the support. So thank you. If you could, please go rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Let them know Ole Walls House is the place to be. And if you're looking for some sweet merch like this or this here hat, you can find that at the link down in the show notes below at our merch shop. You'll also find some merch there from my guy MJ over at the FullRange Pod. You'll see him here today, but don't forget to check out his show at the FullRange Pod on Spotify and Apple Pods and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. So without any further ado, let's get into it. And here he is. MJ's back. Week 2 of our NFL preview. MJ, we head south this week, down to the dirty South, with the dirty birds like the Falcons. I don't know where I was going with all that, but you know.
I don't know either.
What's up, man?
It's good to be back, man. We're a week closer. We talked about it last week. We're a fucking week closer, man. I'm excited.
We've seen some more. We saw a full slate of preseason games this past week. You were texting about your Cowboys.
Yes, I was.
You're 17-0, going to the Super Bowl Cowboys.
That's not true.
I don't know, man.
Not true. No, man, it was fun. I watched all the games that were like available to me. Like I wasn't gonna go like search online or ESPN Plus something. You know, I wasn't gonna do anything like that. But if it was on, I watched actually a lot of them. It was kind of nice. I watched the full Cowboys game. Watched a lot of the I think it was San Francisco Tennessee game. So yeah, it's just nice to have football in the background even too. And just to kind of see some of the storylines from other teams that I don't necessarily care about win-loss record, but it's cool to see like college players that have, done for the draft show and all these different things. And it's like, again, it's football, baby. It's here. Mm-hmm. It's coming
hard. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I had to go out and get, I'll talk about my pillows later in the episode, but I had to go get some pillows and a new golf glove and just went out and got some food afterwards. And like the Packer game was just like on at the restaurant. And it was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Like, I can just look up and there's Packers on TV. I mean, I would never be in like an actual restaurant for like a regular season Packer game, but it was nice.
Can I get your thoughts on some of the Packers game?
I mean, for what I watched, everything looked all right. It was nice to see a kicker make some kicks, like banged 2 through from 58. The first one didn't end up counting because there was a penalty and they ended up keeping the drive going and then kicked it. Obviously the big thing, and it's all over Twitter, Keyshawn Nixon sucks. That guy's got to go.
Yeah, it didn't look great. That was one of the games I only saw clips from. But things that I've kind of heard through the grapevine, it wasn't a great preseason game for him.
And I've had problems with his decision making. He gets a lot of dumb penalties. He's not a very good cover corner. Like some of his better stuff has been that he's supposed to be this good tackler until he's making business decisions for himself on the goal line in playoff games and not going for tackles. And then it's and now you're just not giving good effort out there too. I know it's preseason, but that you have been getting some reps with the twos in training camp. And then he comes in, he's like, well, I'm being punished for something. And it's shut, you're being punished because you're bad at football.
Yeah. I'll be honest, even just hearing that, and I didn't know that part of it. I mean, as a coach and just a guy who loves sports, you don't want those guys on your football team, any team. Nope. Really, if that's what it's going to be about. I mean, there's 2 things for me in a preseason game. You're either, I guess maybe 3, because if you're a first teamer and it's just a rep based thing. Like try to get some rhythm,
some reps.
But if you're not a first team guy, you're in there for two reasons: to either try to bump somebody ahead of you out. That's like maybe like I'll give you an instance for the Cowboys. I think Luke Schoonmaker, the backup tight end,
the Schoonmaker. I love that.
And
name.
then
I don't know why.
And then the kind of the undrafted, the Trig from I can't remember where he's from, but athletic kid. He played almost the entire game for the Cowboys. Like that, those are for him. You already know what you have in like this second string backup tight end going into his third, fourth year. Now let's give the rookie as many reps as possible to see if he can overtake him. So that's one thing. Like, are you good enough to make some plays and do the right things? Or you're already kind of on maybe a cut line, and this is it for you. Like that's really the three ways preseason can be looked at. It's you're a starter getting reps, you're kind of a fringe guy, we want to give you lots of opportunities as a young player, or you're just trying to make the 53. Mm-hmm. And that might be special teams. It might be the third or fourth corner. It might be the sixth wide receiver. If your team carries 6 wide outs, or if they only carry 5, maybe it's 3 tight ends or 3 running backs, or, however they're going to organize their 53-man roster. Like, you can't be a complainer in that situation. You're a professional. It's your job. Like, you have to go out and perform regardless of who you're playing with, what preseason game it is, and that really bothers me on the Packers side of things. In a team that I'm almost kind of a little iffy on overall in the Packers a little bit already. You don't want to hear that shit coming out of preseason games.
No, and it's like Keyshawn Nixon, you're on the last year of your deal.
At worst, you're advertising yourself for other teams.
Yeah. Like, don't be a problem. Like, your problems can't exceed your talent. If your talent exceeds your problems, you're always going to have a job in whatever walk of life it is, sports in particular. When your problems exceed your talent, you've got trouble. And it's getting to the point with Keyshawn Nixon where his problems are creeping up on his talent. And it's not like he's an overwhelmingly talented, guy per the NFL standards. Obviously, he's an incredible athlete, one of the best football players on earth. Like, let's not, have anyone say we're bad mouthing somebody like that and that we could do it. We can't. But like, this was a guy who was like a special teams guy, basically made his way onto the Packers by being good at punt return and kick return when we couldn't find anybody to do it. And then last year was like refusing to do that.
Yeah.
So
delusion.
That's where I'm at with all of it.
Delusion.
It's like, hey, you're 29 this year. Careers in the NFL go downhill in a hurry at 30, especially for those people that are on the edge of the field. Like, you got to be pretty exceptional.
Always somebody else coming up and ready to take your spot.
And there were 2 guys that got drafted by the Packers this year that were getting first team reps. And turns out you weren't one of them for a little bit.
That's right.
Anyway, I could probably rant and bitch about that all along, but Trey Smack, we're making field goals from deep.
There we go. Positives.
All right, MJ, let's, did you have anything you wanted to say about your Cowboys from their preseason game, or you gave me the floor here to rant? So
yeah, no, you're fine. I will say I saw a clip from, I think it was one of the Fox shows. Chris Broussard, maybe? And he there's the clip out there of him saying do you hear that? Do you hear it? And the guy's at first he's a little confused. He's like, no, I don't hear anything. He's like, the Dallas Cowboys are just having a quiet offseason for one time. And that really I know I kind of alluded to that a little bit last week when we did the NFC and AFC East, but it's just really nice to just somewhat just worry about football. And I'm going to talk about it on my pod Thursday. A lot of Cowboys stuff on Thursday, but a couple of things like Quinnen Williams' deal getting done was really nice. They're going to have him for at least the next 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, which is really nice. They just added Von Miller.
Right after we recorded. last week,
Yeah,
by the way, too.
Yeah.
Von Miller we kind of mentioned it, and then it happened. I was like, Rena, I was like, MJ and I were just talking about this.
Yeah, the Von Miller signing doesn't tremendously move the needle for me, but it's like a late offseason add-in in a position where they need some depth and some probably veteran leadership. It's a bigger name than it is probably a needle mover for me.
Yeah,
but that's okay. And I just saw actually the other day that they're possibly signing Adoree Jackson, the corner that's kind of bounced around the league a little bit, Giants and a couple other teams. But, that's another veteran secondary guy who, obviously they don't feel very comfortable with some of their maybe 4th, 5th, 6th corners right now. So let's go add somebody and see what can happen over the next 2 or 3 preseason games. And, they've just attacked this offseason with a lot of just smart, nothing over the top, but not promising playoff and Super Bowl wins when you did absolutely nothing or got worse. And it just feels like an offseason I haven't had in a really, really long time being a Cowboys fan. But the game itself was really nice. I thought Joe Milton played well in the second half for, the backup quarterback battle with him and Sam Howell. The running back situation is a little weird. Running back 2 through 5, they're still trying to figure some stuff out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in somebody either via trade or, free agency, maybe before the season or during. But overall, I was pleased. It was nice to watch the Cowboys.
It's beautiful. We're almost there.
Yes, we are.
All right,
let's get into it, buddy.
Let's do the NFC South first, if we shall.
Let's do it. Yes.
I want to lead this is my overall theme for the South. Quarterback questions in the NFC South. I think there's a lot of quarterback questions to be answered. A little bit different question for each team, but I think that's a big, crucial kind of thing here as we work through every team.
Yep, and I think that's where I was going to kind of go with it is the NFC and AFC South are relatively very different because of quarterback play. Like the AFC South, you know what you're going to get. You're getting Daniel Jones off of a injury for the Colts, but he was so solid last year when healthy. CJ Stroud, some questions there of how he's playing, but he's the guy.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, and who else am I missing?
Cam Ward.
And Cam Ward. Like those guys
second
year.
They're pretty locked in. That's what they're doing. That's where they're going. And they're all pretty long term.
This one, NFC South, there's not a ton of questions on who possibly is probably going to start outside of Atlanta. But it feels more of Tyler Shugg for New Orleans. He's shown flashes, played well last year, but is that really the direction for the future? Bryce Young. I think the question is for all these teams, are the guys who start week 1, their starters week 1 next year? And I think for many of it, are the guys who start week 1 starting in week 10? I think that's true.
Outside of probably Tampa Bay, Baker's going to be your starter the whole year unless his game's just completely gone to shit or he gets injured.
Yes. I think maybe New Orleans might have, even if he just plays decent again or above average in spots, they probably give him another year. But Atlanta and Carolina, I don't know. So, but if you want me to start with who I think is going to be the worst team,
let's do it.
This is the very rare. Instead of worst to first, I'm going first to worst this year. I'm going with the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
As my bottom feeder here. And I'll be very honest, my first note is I think the Panthers are going to stink. I think they were a big surprise last year, and Bryce Young played well in spots. To me, it's just I'm uncomfortable watching him play quarterback in the NFL at times. And maybe it's his size, but last year kind of felt fluky to me. And I know we talked last year in the NFL preview of just how convoluted this division is. It seems to be every year.
It's not like they won 10 games.
I do think now with this team, though, and I think they've improved overall, like especially on the defense side. The defense I think is actually going to be surprising this year. The 10th toughest schedule. Now they have a first place schedule. So it's the 10th toughest in the league. I just think the Saints, the Bucks, and even Atlanta in some ways, I just think are going to improve. And I just kind of feel like the same old Carolina Panthers for me a little bit.
Can I say something about their schedule last year too? So they destroyed the Falcons. The rest of their wins were by one score.
Yeah.
Many of them by 3. They beat the Dolphins by 3. The Dolphins were not good. They beat the Cowboys by 3. Wasn't your best Cowboys season.
Oof.
They beat the Jets by 7. The Jets stunk. They beat the Packers by 3 in a game that the Packers played horribly and missed a couple of field goals. They beat the Falcons, who they had crushed earlier in the year, by 3 in overtime. Falcons, not good. 3-point win over the Rams, hard to take anything away from them on that. And then 3-point win over the Buccaneers, who they then lost to a couple weeks later. Like, I don't know. They came out ahead. They had 2 games where they lost close ones, and then 7 of their 8 wins were by one score. It's like they came out ahead on a lot of those one possession games. Doesn't usually work like that 2 years in a row.
I like, again, I'll say it. I like what like the defensive side of the ball looks like for them. I really do. I love J.C. Horn. I've liked him since he was coming out of school. The Jalen Phillips signing, the edge rusher, they signed a 4-year big contract for him. Devin Lloyd at linebacker. Isaiah Simmons, kind of that hybrid linebacker safety. Like they brought in some guys, and it's not like they lost a ton. I thought their draft was halfway decent with Monroe Freeling in the first round. It was a little rich for me at pick 19, but Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle from Texas Tech, like there was some dudes, and I think this roster is good, but it all comes back to I just don't know if I believe in Bryce Young being able to consistently bring them over the top on offense. And this is maybe not such a big step down because they only won 8 games last year. I have them at 4-13 at the bottom of this division.
Yeah, that's basically saying they just lose half of those one-score games.
I'm a Panthers kind of fan. They're one of my teams that I don't mind cheering for, and I lived in Charlotte for a year, and that was really fun kind of being a part of just that little bit of culture, even as a Cowboys fan. I just don't see them repeating some of the luck, and I think Bryce Young may be at his ceiling. Ooh. That it hurts me to say that because you don't wish bad on any of these guys really, but if I'm being fair, I think that's where he's at. I think we're at the peak of Bryce Young.
Yeah, and he's got the club option next year, the 5th-year option. And it's then what do they do? It's they got Kenny Pickett. But we've seen Kenny Pickett. He doesn't really move the needle for you.
No,
the weirdest quarterback ever. He's 16-11. In his career, but he's generally bad.
Yep.
In his 24 games with Pittsburgh, he threw 13 touchdowns and 13 interceptions.
Just finding ways to win. That's Pittsburgh, though. That's the Steelers' way a little bit, though, too. But I don't know. And it's not even. I don't have a ton of confidence in my next team in this division either.
We got.
We could flip-flop here. I have the Atlanta Falcons, and I feel bad for saying it, but it's the quarterback questions up the ass. What is this here? First of all, 2 lefties, Wally. What are we doing here? With Tua and Penix Jr. And Penix, I believe, is a little banged up right now, so he's not getting reps, and he needs them. Besides Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, this offensive roster really isn't anything to write home about. But outside of those 3 weapons,
I will say, Bijan was this close to making my all-time shit list last year. I was in the fantasy football championship game in week 17.
Yep,
when he went for 195 yards 93 of them in one run. I was like, oh my, I was up by like 50 points. I was like, I just can't have somebody have like the greatest game of all time. And he scored like 47 of them.
Jesus.
Like, I'm going to absolutely lose my mind. But then they just took him out on the final drive. Anyway, continue on.
And now hopefully you don't have that problem, but they did bring in Brian Robinson Jr. to back him up. But I do think they're going to kind of feed into, we've kind of done this for a couple seasons now where we haven't prioritized giving him the football more often than not. I do think they're going to be there, but like your second wide receiver is Jahan Dotson. I don't know. Like,
I've got a Penn State jersey laying around here somewhere.
Yeah, but like, I do like their offensive line. That was a positive that I put on here. I do like some of the additions and some of their pieces on defense. I like the Chris Harris in the secondary, Jesse Bates in the secondary, AJ Terrell's a stud. Like, there's some pieces here. I don't know if we're going to overcome the defense here. So I have them finishing 6-11. I just think there's going to be a lot of games where it's tight early, and there's going to be just some clunkiness and missed opportunities on offense due to some quarterback play. And 9 times out of 10, I think they're going to lose those games. 6-11 feels like one of those seasons where you're like, well, Tua played 7 games or 8 games, and Penix came in for 8 or 9, and stats are kind of even. Maybe 1 touchdown to 1 pick ratio, and you're just going to have a lot of drama for next season. Do you draft somebody? Do you go up in a draft? Do you hold on to Penix another year? And there's just too many questions, and I'm trying to, when I do these projections, just what do I trust? What do I see? What have I heard? And it just doesn't feel right in Atlanta outside of Bijan Robinson and Drake London for me.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It questions.
Yes.
I mean,
are you ready for number?
Partially torn ACL for Penix too is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tua's 1 hit away. He always is. No offense to the guy, but
his brain's just made of mush at this point.
Yeah.
It's the only problem.
Just, he's down there.
Yeah, that was
all right.
Yeah,
that's bad. Okay,
number
2 in the division. All right, this is everybody's like little pet cat in this division. I have the New Orleans Saints. This is like, I feel like everybody I've seen, it's like, oh, well, let's pick a sleeper team in each division. Everybody's picking the Saints to possibly win this division. This is a really good team, and I think they're going to be really tough at home. They have a really easy schedule this year, according to all the statistics and winning percentages and all that stuff. The start of the year is tough. They do have a stretch in the middle of the season that seems like it could be really daunting. But I really want to like the Saints this year. I like their mix of some really good young talent with mixed in with some veterans guys that can really play. Like I think they're gonna, like I said, I think they're gonna be really good at home.
They have what I think is a nice wide receiver core.
Yeah, they really do. Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson, the rookies coming in. You got a guy like Trey Palmer. Ronnie Bell's a rookie. Like, there's a couple guys that there's some
one of my favorite
marks.
names in the NFL, Devon Vele.
Devon Vele, yep. I mean, so there's some dudes that can catch the football. I even like their tight end room. Just solid. Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant, nothing crazy, but you know what you're going to get. They're going to block
dudes.
well.
Like, they're going to do their job. They're not going to be flashy. They're not going to, get 1,000 yards and 1,000 receiving yards or anything, but they're going to be solid.
Yep. And one of the most underrated offensive lines in the league in New Orleans. They've put together a really nice Kelvin Banks Jr. At left tackle. Eric McCoy, the center, is one of the best centers in the league. Fuaga, the right tackle, is really solid. Like, their interior's good. They do have some depth. Like, in the defense, They can get after the quarterback a little bit. Their linebacker room isn't too bad. They bring good old Kool-Aid McKinstry down to New Orleans back in his old Alabama days. Justin Reed in the secondary. I think this team is going to surprise. They're going to beat some good teams, I think. I also think they could have some games where you're like, man, they should have won that game. I have them finishing 7-10.
Yeah. It's just Tyler Shug's a big question mark. To continue the theme. He had some nice moments at the end of last year, but what does that mean?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of questions in the running back room, how they're going to manage Travis Achan, not ETN,
Achan. Get it right now.
And Alvin Kamara. But do we ask ourselves that question with any other running back room? It's nice to have two really good running backs.
I had just pulled up Alvin Kamara's stats. He played 11 games last year, 131 rushing attempts, 471 yards. Only had 186. I think we're on the downside of his career.
Yeah, I think so too, and that's why you bring
31. And I mean, we talked about getting to 30 earlier. You get to 30 plus as a running back in the NFL. There's not a lot of high productivity years out ahead of you.
And honestly,
and he's been in the league a long time now.
And he was a
2017
workhorse.
Yes.
He was their offense a lot of times.
I mean,
you had to stop 41 every game.
His first 4 years in the league, he was averaging 175 rushes with 80 catches. Yeah. And then for a couple years, there was his next 4 years, his receptions came down after Breeze left. But his rushing attempts went up to 240, 223, 180 in an injury-shortened season, and then 228. He's also only played a full season one time.
Yeah. But now you get to
so I don't think they're
pick them in spots.
I don't think there's going to be any problem balancing that.
No. And I think if you're Alvin Kamara, it might extend your career for another 1 to 4 years.
Yep.
Which I think is, hey, you're going to make some more money and, whatever it might be. So I really like the Saints. I think it'd be cool to sit here and be I'm going to pick them to win the division. I think this division is kind of a mess. So there's too many questions here.
Somehow this division is always a mess because
really
3 teams won 8 and 9 last year, and then the Saints were kind of bad.
And then I'm just going with my division winner as the team that I trust and know more of what I'm going to get in the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yep.
So, and like I said before, it feels like this is kind of almost, I don't want to say a cakewalk because I don't think the Bucks are that good to just walk to the division win, but they're the most solid, well-rounded team, and they don't have a question at quarterback. Who's going to go out there. You're going to have some gunslinger mistakes from Baker once in a while. He's going to try to do too much, but he's also going to have some games where he's outstanding. He's going to throw for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's slinging it all over the field. I have them at 10-7 winning the division. I could see this being an 8-9 win team winning this again. I could see the Bucks getting to maybe 11 wins. I like the addition of Kenneth Gainwell for their backfield. I think he's an underrated running back in the league. Hopefully, Chris Godwin can stay healthy because when he's on, he's one of the best in the league. You hope to still get some more from Emeka Egbuka like he had the first 5 or 6 games of last season as a rookie. And all these defenses in this division, I think are pretty solid. I think the Bucks,
this one's the biggest question mark on defense is this team. And we should go back to last year a little bit with these guys. Going into their bye week in week 9, they were 6-2.
Yeah.
They lost 7 of their last 9 games.
It was, and a lot of that was injuries too.
Under control. And then just things kind of fell apart. Baker kind of regressed a little bit from his first 2 years in Tampa, which were phenomenal. and especially the year before last, 2024, was probably his best season ever. He was in MVP talks. Like, I think he threw for, like, I had it pulled up here, threw for 41 touchdowns, had a passer rating of 106, which bested anything else in his career by 12 points. Like, he came back a little bit, which, you know, hey, you're not going to repeat those every year unless you're just an absolute stud, which I don't think anybody's, you know, confused about Baker. He's a very good, capable quarterback, but, like, he's going to have to, like, bump the game back up a little bit.
Yes. I mean, he needs to be borderline a top 10 quarterback statistically in the league for the Bucs to be really special.
Yep.
So, but again, like you said, like this defense does have some questions. I like Antoine Winfield Jr. in the secondary. I like their rookie and Ruben Bain that they drafted. I love Vita Vea down there in Tampa. Kalijah Cansey on the ends and defensive line. Like they have some guys. My question's a little bit linebacker, some secondary stuff, but like offensively, to me, this is the offense that I can trust the most, mostly becoming just because of Baker Mayfield. And the pieces on defense, I think, can be enough to keep them in games. And it's not like I'm saying 10-7. It's not like I'm saying they're going 14-3 or anything like that. So I do have them winning the division, probably getting the 3 or 4 seed in the NFC, and kind of having a little bit of a bounce back, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people are on the Mike Evans left. So now what for Tampa? And everybody wants to pick kind of that sleeper in New Orleans or maybe even Carolina repeating. To me, this is Tampa Bay's division to lose.
I would agree. All right, let's head over to the AFC South now, MJ.
Let's do it.
What do you got for us over here?
Well, we'll start with the bottom feeders, my poor Tennessee Titans, my AFC darlings. That's my team in the AFC, and they've been bad for a very long time, and I think they're going to continue to be bad this year. I do like some of the changes, but they're a lot of changes. New head coach, Robert Saleh, who we've seen in a head coach role before, and it didn't work out great, but he's a well-respected defensive mind in the league.
I think the inmates were kind of running the asylum a little bit. I
think so too.
I think
Brian Dable.
Yep, good
new offensive
mind.
Coordinator. Yep.
I think he's a guy who's a coordinator. Like there's guys that are coordinators and there's guys that are head coaches, and I think Dayball's a coordinator.
I think so too.
Nothing wrong with that, and sometimes it just fits the way they work. And I think that's a role that's going to lead for him to have better success.
And I think another former head coach in Gus Bradley, the new defensive coordinator, I believe.
Did he coach Jacksonville for a little bit?
I think so. So a lot of changes to settle into. To me, it comes down to this defense does have potential to really improve, be a physical, fast defense. I don't want to poop in anybody's party, but Cam Ward, has a little bit. This is my Dallas Cowboys fan coming out. A little bit of Joe Milton in him, a little bit where I haven't seen Cam Ward make a ton. He does. I'm not saying he is Joe Milton. I think he might be better than Joe Milton. But a ton of his throws are just, he gets panicky, his feet start getting wacky, and he just slings that son of a bitch in a hole. Mm-hmm. And he's hoping to God that his receiver's there to catch it. The inaccuracy problems worry me, especially what I saw the other day against San Francisco in his time in the preseason game. It didn't make me feel any better. And they've been in this rebuild for a while, up and down defensively. I'm worried about Cam Ward turning the ball over too much. I am worried about the running game a little bit. I know they got Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears looks explosive, in the preseason game and stuff, but I'm worried there.
Tony Pollard, the absolute touchdown goblin.
Yes. And rightfully so. I mean, he's earned himself what he did in Dallas and stuff, he earned himself that contract, but he's been a little underwhelming, and some of that's just where he is in Tennessee. To me, it all comes back to you don't know what you're going to get out of Carnell Tate, the rookie. You still got Calvin Ridley on the outside. You do have some weapons. I just think if Cam Ward takes a step in the right direction, it's probably a positive season.
Is Calvin
I just don't
Ridley
think
their wide receiver one?
Unless you want to say Carnell Tate is.
Yeah, I mean, see, I think that's a problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wandale Robinson
again.
Yeah, I mean they have some weapons. I think they have a very solid 5 or 6 guys, like Carnell Tate, Calvin Ridley, Wandale Robinson, KJ Osborne's there now. That DK, it's like that. It's like Dike.
Yeah,
his last name. It's like Chimery
yeah,
DK.
it's something wild.
But he showed flashes like get behind the defense, make some big plays. So I don't know here. And their schedule I don't think is very easy, especially in that division. You have to go against some really proven quarterbacks, defenses with the Texans, the Colts, the Jags. And to me, all of those teams have the better quarterback and probably slightly better defenses right at this moment. So I go Tennessee finishing 5-12.
Yeah, that might even be generous.
It might be. That might be a little high.
I would say yes, that's a little high.
I mean, they won 4, I believe, last year. 3 or 4? 3. Yeah. Little improvement, Hey,
hey, a little step in the right direction.
Maybe you beat the Raiders or something, I don't know. I got a little surprise here.
Okay.
For my next team.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
No.
The Houston Texans.
It is the Houston Texans. Finishing 3rd. This is last week I talked about one of the teams being like where I'm like, this could be where I'm really, really wrong. The Houston Texans are really good on paper. And that defense carried CJ Stroud in that offense, in a banged up offense in that. They carried them, I think, to 12 wins last year, which is insane to think about. I just don't know.
What a playoff game, too.
They did. And everything was telling me, like, man, they played so bad last year. They got to, bounce back a little bit on offense. Well, I'm going to believe it when I see it. I have Houston going 9-8 this year. And I think there's going to be some
9-8 finishes 3rd in this division.
Yep. I think this is one of the better divisions overall record-wise in the AFC this year. Possibly I could see them going 10-7. I think their schedule is really tough. Everything that I see online with, power football focus and winning percentage, it's like one of the easiest. I don't think so. This division's tough. Their out of division opponents I don't think are going to be that easy. But it comes back to the offense feeling so clunky. I don't know what I'm going to get in Nico Collins, although I do like that they do have a couple young receivers to help fill that in. You hope Tank Dell comes back from injury is, somewhat of the player that he can be. I love the David Montgomery. Tough. Yeah, I think so too.
Especially with Bills and Bengals.
Yep.
At home for both, luckily. But then you also have the Ravens in there. You have the Steelers. And then 2 of their last 3 games are in Philly, in Green Bay for night games.
Yep.
Night game Christmas Eve, night game January 4th. In Philly, in Green Bay. That's not easy places to go play late in the season.
Yeah. It just didn't feel. This is one of those gut feelings for me. I'm like, this is a really good roster. I believe in the defense. I love their defense. But I just, why have they underperformed in some ways though? And I know oh man, it's a 12 wins team from last year. They won a playoff game. But it feels like they should have been better. CJ Stroud came out with his hair on fire from college and he's slinging it around. And every year it's just been oh, wait a second. not playing so well. Then injuries happen, and this defense is having to win games 12-10 or some shit. To me, the league's going to figure out this defense at least a little in some aspects. This could be where I was really wrong, but I go 9-8 with the Houston Texans.
Their bit of line here has been bad as well.
They did,
and I know they've done like some more shuffling to it again here this offseason, but like that's got to get better.
Yeah, they did sign a couple guys in free agency, drafted a guard from Oklahoma and Georgia Tech, the Rutledge kid from Georgia Tech in the first round. Like, I think this team on paper feels really, really good. I just have a feeling like it's just not going to come to fruition this year for them. I'm sticking my neck out on this one.
All right. Well, then we move on. Is this the Indianapolis Colts, or are you really going off the wall here on us?
I am going with the Colts to finish second at 10-7.
Okay.
At 10-7, just over the Houston Texans. Listen, Daniel Jones, man, he impressed me last year.
Playing good ball.
He was. Danny Dimes was really, really good, and then not so great. Obviously because of injury. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but he was kind of the catalyst for this franchise last year. It all went to shit when he got hurt.
They were 8-2.
Yeah.
They lost 7 in a row.
Like, it didn't look like teams were close to the Daniel Jones-led Indianapolis Colts. I don't even know how to react to that.
They had fucking Phillip Rivers playing games.
Yes, they had. Oh, my God. I think this is a team that's going to fight for the 6th or 7th seed in the AFC. The defense, I think, hopefully Sauce Gardner comes back and is relatively healthy. I think that helps their secondary out a lot. But I love their front seven. I love the guys that they drafted. I thought C.J. Allen, the linebacker from Georgia, getting him in the second round is outstanding for them. The Halsey, the safety from LSU, another guy that I really liked and some people thought was in that late first, early second round range, and they get him in the third at pick 78. They still have some studs on defense with DeForest Buckner, the Latu on the edge, like Arden Key on the edge. They young linebacker core, but good in the back with Travarius Ward and, like I said, Sauce Gardner. And my eyes told me when Daniel Jones plays, Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate. Their offensive line is really good. I know they lost Michael Pittman on the outside, but Alec Pierce and company, they're very good wide receivers. Mm-hmm. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Daniel Jones may have found a home in Indianapolis, and I kind of believe in him this year, which probably isn't great for them, but I have them going 10-7.
Damn. Well, like I said, they're 8-2 until everything went to hell.
It sure did.
All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars and your favorite quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, second favorite behind Justin Herbert because, they've earned the right to be top 5 quarterbacks for no reason. I do think the league is sleeping on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them. I'll save that to the end.
They went 13-4 last year?
Was that what it was?
Let's see here. I've got 13-4.
Yeah, really, really good. Like I said, Houston's getting a lot of love to win this division. Daniel Jones, Indy, a lot of love there too. I just think people are kind of forgetting about the Jacksonville Jaguars and how good they were last year. Oh, God. They got great quarterback play last year. I love Parker Washington for Jacksonville. Jacoby Myers played really well for Jacksonville last year after coming over from Las Vegas as well. And they still have Brian Thomas Jr., who's been a little disappointing, kind of, at least in the fantasy world, but I think in just real football world too. But he's an ungodly talented kid. I think their weapons are really good. The front seven's great with Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines, Allen, Eric Armstead is a very underrated defensive lineman. And you still, in the secondary, is a very above average for me with Monteric Brown, Jordan Lewis, who's one of the true slot corners in the league, a former Dallas Cowboy, and the Cowboy secondary missed him a lot, did a lot of really good things, does a really good job in Jacksonville. And you got an unworldly talent in Travis Hunter, who has another offseason coming out of his rookie year, kind of play both ways, but I think can really help him in the secondary. And I'll say this. I think Jacksonville could be, and I'm not putting this out there yet because we got to wait till the last episode of our NFL preview, could be a sleeper pick to be in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I'm just pulled up Trevor Lawrence. I mean, not really nice year last year. 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Completion percentage the last couple of years has been down around at 60%. Probably got to clean that up a little bit, but you know, after some years of just being bad. I mean,
the prince who's promised.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Trevor Lawrence's numbers weren't awful most of those years. I mean, has thrown for 4,000 yards 3 times already out of 5 years. In 2024, he was hurt, only played 10 games. I mean, there's something there. Like he does. He gets a lot of love without having produced a lot in his career. But there's talent there. Like, it's the hype is there for a reason.
Yeah, and I'm literally kind of banking on how well it went last year in Liam Cohen's first year in Jacksonville. Oop. Did I just disappear?
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. I clicked something by accident.
How well it went last year, like 12, 13 wins, that's not just – you don't get lucky usually winning 13 games in the National Football League.
No.
To me, now it's the second year in that system. You added some guys. You got some talent. You have your franchise quarterback. It's go time for Jacksonville, to me. Like, I think this is a team that could really surprise.
And they were beating people up to end the year last year. Like,
yeah.
Granted, some of these wins are against some bad teams, but like part of the thing against playing bad teams is you got to beat them up. Like, that's what you should do.
Yes.
And like, so they were doing that. Like 35-6 win over the Chargers. They weren't a bad team, but like beat the Titans. The Colts at that point were real, and the Jets. But then went into Denver and won 34-20 late in the year. Like, that's a good damn win.
Who was really close to being in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the signs
and they were like peaking late too. Like,
yes.
Things were starting to go in the right direction, and then Bo Nix breaks his ankle, and it's like, oh god, like what a bad time.
Who did they lose to in the playoffs, Wally? Help me out.
Oh, Who did they lose to in the playoffs? Who did they lose to in the playoffs, MJ? I gotta find it. Patriots.
Oh, well,
7-10 in that game where it was snowing like a motherfucker.
Yes.
They didn't have Bo Nix.
You mean no, Jacksonville?
Oh, Jacksonville. I'm sorry.
Nope, you're okay. We got stuck on the Broncos for a minute. That's okay.
I got flipped around there. Jacksonville. They lost to the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
24-27.
Yep. So
I don't think there's a lot of shame in losing to Josh Allen.
The signs are there for this team to be again a playoff team, to take maybe another small step forward in this new system, added some pieces. You got a quarterback that's better than 2/3 of the league when he's at his peak. Why not Jacksonville? I think we just get into that trap of like, well, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, I think this. I really do think this is kind of my AFC sleeper pick overall. Like, I think a lot of team. I think everybody's, Denver and New England and Buffalo and Kansas City's getting a lot of love because you assume a bounce back year. The Houston Texans because of the defense. What about Jacksonville? I'm putting them out there for the world.
What quarterbacks do you take above Trevor Lawrence? I'll list
Okay.
out probably the obvious ones here. It's going to be Josh Allen, Matt Stafford.
Are we just talking this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Pat Mahomes, probably Burrow, Dak.
Dak's close.
For 1 year, I'm taking Dak more than I'm taking.
To me, I've said this a lot. Dak, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert are in like this little group together. It's like they have meetings every year in the summer of like, hey, we're gonna put up 4,500 yards and like 35 touchdowns, maybe close to 10 picks, but we're gonna put up some numbers that if you just looked it on paper, we're like, man, is that Patrick Mahomes' stat line or is that Josh Allen's? Oh no, it's Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, and their team won 9 games.
Yeah.
You know, like it's weird. And in some of it, I do believe like Dak Prescott has stats that are very close to Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes he's had the defenses, he's had the great head coach, a great system that fits him. And I don't know if I can say that with guys like Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, and maybe those guys are finding him now with Schottenheimer and Harbaugh in Los Angeles, and now Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. Maybe now is that group of quarterbacks' time to really flourish. But I don't know. I would put them in kind of a clump between probably quarterbacks like 6 to 9.
Yeah,
in the league. Like they're all very similar in my eyes.
Like you taking. This one I don't think is a hard one, but it's interesting. Brock Purdy or Trevor Lawrence?
Probably closer than people think, but I take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. 1 year on this Jags team, Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers.
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I don't know if I trust Aaron Rodgers anymore.
I still think that Aaron Rodgers has put himself in just awful positions. We can get to that at another point.
Yeah, we will. We got some. I think in a couple weeks we're going north. So
Yep. 2 weeks. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Weird divisions, really fun divisions. They're all fucking fun, dude. It's gonna be awesome.
Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor. All things the same?
Yeah.
Wally.
Trevor Lawrence might be a lot of fun with the Detroit Lions.
He would, yeah. But is it that different though? Yeah, maybe. Jared Goff is such a statue. I love Lawrence because he's an underrated athlete. Like he can get out there and run around. I would take Lawrence closer. Goff, I think, goes to those meetings with Dak and Justin and Trevor. Yeah. Like he goes like every couple years because like he's been to a Super Bowl. Like he's made deep playoff runs before. That. Like so, to me, it's like he just goes every once in a while. The year he skipped, he went to the Super Bowl, but he just keeps coming back to the meetings of being like a 10th best quarterback in the league, and So,
all right, one more for you, and I'll end this little line of questioning. Lamar Jackson or Trevor Lawrence?
It's Lamar Jackson. Yeah, it's Lamar.
Lamar's an MVP candidate.
Everything's the same because I do think Lamar Jackson has a little bit of, in my opinion, a little bit of Josh Allen-ness to him where I feel like the franchise has kind of done Josh Allen at times an injustice, and a little bit with Lamar Jackson. Like I thought they waited too long to go kind of all in on weapons for Josh Allen, and a little too long for Lamar Jackson.
Those two have like a very similar like gameplay style.
Yes,
kind of like they're going to be out, they're going to be moving, they're going to be slinging it around, a little reckless from time to time. They're going to run it, and it felt like both franchises were like. And oddly so, I think even the Ravens were a little slower to buy in on Lamar. And now there are some legit questions to Lamar. Yeah. Like playoff success has not been there. You wonder
same
if
thing
like
with Josh Allen.
Same thing with Josh Allen. The thing with Josh Allen, I think that separates him is that I don't think you worry as much about his passing ability.
Yeah, I think so
Jackson,
too.
it does sometimes you worry that you're like, man, when everything sets up, we're like, we know we have to pass the ball here. Like, are we super, super confident?
But to play the other side of the fence for Lamar and Josh, though, is some of it, to me, it's like, I think because of such early success from both of those guys, like coming into the league and like kind of automatically being like, oh shit, this guy's a top 10 quarterback. And the next year it's like, oh, well, maybe he's top 3, top 5.
We talk about guys going to meetings together. Those two go to the same meeting too.
Yeah. But like, to me, it was almost like Buffalo was like, well, Josh Allen's just going to keep carrying us. He's going to keep getting better and better and better. Same thing with Lamar. It was like, hey, Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, they're enough because he's going to get it done.
It's
same
like
thing with like Josh Allen,
Rodgers.
Khalil Shakur, and Keon Coleman. That's enough. He's good enough to just overcome that all the time. And I really don't think that's how, if you look at these past Super Bowl winners with Philadelphia and Kansas City and, even going back to like Tampa Bay when Tom Brady was there, and so on, they all had weapons. They were great quarterback play. Even Jalen Hurts, great quarterback play. But even Jalen Hurts' shortcomings were covered up because he had Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and so on and so on and so on. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Like, he had dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
you go back to those Tampa teams with Brady. It's like, you got Godwin and Mike Evans. Like, they had Gronk there. Like, you got to put dudes around these guys.
Because no quarterback's going to be perfect, even the most greatest of all time. And when shit breaks down sometimes, I don't know if Lamar and Josh Allen have consistently had the wide receiver, especially wide receiver help that they really needed in moments. And I thought now maybe with DJ Moore in Buffalo, maybe that's the difference this year for Buffalo. But that'll be another. Well, that was last week a little bit too, and I was high on Buffalo.
Well, nice. I got us a little off the tracks there at the end. Kind of threw something at you weren't ready for, but
I love talking ball, dude.
That's what I'm here for. Well, MJ, as always, my man, I appreciate it. Another fantastic rundown you took us through. Next week we're going west.
That's right.
So NFC, AFC West next week. So some fun, interesting divisions out there as well. So another good lineup for us next week. So I'm looking forward to more.
We'll be 1 week closer.
1 week closer.
Let's go.
All right, MJ. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
Time for some passing thoughts. Okie dokie. I'll just start with my Cleveland Guardians. Just debacle. Absolute debacle. It's come completely undone. They've now lost 7 of their last 10. They currently now are in 4th place in the division. Now 6 games back of the White Sox. Half game back a second in the Tigers. Just lost another series to the Padres. They've won 2 series. 2 times they've come out ahead in the series since the start of July. They took 2 of 3 from the Reds on July 28th and 29th. It was a doubleheader on there. And then the next series win you'd have to go back to find was where was it? It was the Marlins. They swept the Marlins on July 10th, 11th, and 12th. Everything else in between there, they've lost the series. It's just the wheels have come completely off. Unless something, changes, the skid doesn't seem to be ending. I don't know. A bunch of moves at the deadline, it has done nothing. There's no consistency. They can't keep a lineup. And, if not for a miracle end of last year, we'd probably be looking at 2 straight seasons missing the playoffs. We got to start asking some questions. I don't know. I just don't know how you put together a team that competes effectively, spending the kind of money they do. Second lowest payroll in the league. I await the day when the guy who has the minority ownership can buy some more. What's his name? Owner. What's his name? Is it David Blitzer? He joined as minority owner in 2022. I believe he has the ability to buy a majority stake in 2027. Is kind of all the rumblings. I don't know. But even then, it's like, who knows? And we may not be playing baseball next year, so who knows? I'm so frustrated by Cleveland. I'll probably have the game on one of my TVs tonight and just look over in disgust every 20 minutes and be like, oh, here we go again. Losing another game, scoring 2 runs. Hey, go Guards! Oh. Anyway, over in the golf world, I'm obviously combining all this stuff in the passing thoughts. MJ and I went for a while there again, as usual. So Scottie Scheffler runs away with it on Sunday at the FedEx St Jude. Catapulted himself up into the lead with a 61 on Friday, which was the best round of the weekend by, I want to say, like 3 shots. I think the next best round of anybody in the field was a 64. Justin Rose did shoot a 64 on Sunday. Nobody could figure out how to chase him down. Siwoo Kim could put together only a 2 under round. Alex Noren 1 under. Sam Burns 3 over. Wyndham Clark a couple under. Sungjae Im 4 over. Sungjae was about the closest guy to him to start the day at 11 when Scottie was at 13, and it was just never a doubt. Sungjae just never got off the bus. A couple bogeys out front, a bogey to start the 10th, and a couple more bogeys and a birdie finish it off. I mean, the biggest, shocking thing of the whole Sunday was on the 3rd hole. Scottie Scheffler hit his second shot into a greenside bunker, hit what looked to be a pretty darn good shot that landed directly on a sprinkler head out of the bunker and kind of just started that ball and ran it off into the greenside, the water by greenside. Ends up getting up and down, makes his bogey. Only bogey of the day on the card. Didn't deserve it. Makes 5 more birdies and just runs away, wins by 8. So Scottie Scheffler puts a win in the books at the tail end of the season after starting the year with a win. And all those, was there something wrong with Scottie? I've been kind of saying it's like we're going to keep asking that question, but it's ridiculous that we are. So here he goes. He's winning again. Does this maybe mean he's going to find a little form and translate this into a big year next year? That's a question to ask. Was watching a number of movies and such this weekend. Watched the Captain America trilogy. Started with Captain America First Avenger, then watched Captain America Winter Soldier. Captain America Winter Soldier is a fantastic movie. Probably my favorite Marvel movie of them all. Like, that is just a damn good movie. That's not like a damn good Marvel movie. That's just a damn good movie. I like it. It's a little spy thriller kind of to it a little bit too. Just absolutely fantastic. Then finish it off with Captain America Civil War. Fantastic little trilogy of movies there. Obviously, First Avenger is kind of a little campy almost. Kind of maybe more what you think about when you think of a comic book movie, and then Winter Soldier is just a complete departation from that. And just love it. Love Winter Soldier. Cannot speak highly enough about that. Also watched the new season of Tires over this last weekend, whatever that's been out. Great. Best season of Tires yet. The roommate was loving it as well. Just fantastic stuff in there. All the other guys, like all the other comedians he gets in there. H. Foley, the big guy who sells Tacoma tires, is just fantastic. Stavros being the sex addict. It's all good. It's so fun. Just a really enjoyable, stupid, fun show to watch if you want to just laugh and chuckle and have a good time. Like, I love it. Also, I started season 3 of Reacher. It is what it is. It's, a dumb action movie or show that's gonna give you some good fight scenes, a little intrigue along the way. Reacher's gonna get himself out of an impossible situation somehow, some way. It's enjoyable enough to watch. It's on Prime. If you get Prime because you have, Amazon Prime for buying stuff, it's worth your time to watch it if you like stuff like that. Like, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it's a fun, enjoyable show. I would highly suggest it. Highly suggest it. Some food thing here. A food thing. I had told you a couple weeks back, or a couple months back now at this point. I got this crazy hot dog at the Brewers game I went to that had cream cheese on it. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, but it was fantastic. So I decided I needed to try it again. Seattle dog is kind of what the lines of it are. And I did it again. A little cream cheese spread on the inside of a nice toasted bun. I got the good split tops with exposed bread down the side is what you'd call it. Toast those up in a little butter so you get a little crispy crunch on the outside, a little nice buttery flavor. A little swipe of cream, not a little, a decent swipe of cream cheese on the inside. Some onions, a little shredded cheese, and a hot dog. It shouldn't work. Cream cheese and hot dogs should not go together at all. They do, though. Somehow, some way, they go together, and they work fantastically. And I don't know why it does, but I had a couple of them. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Went to the gym this week, and I have gotten to the point where if I ride over there with my wife, I just always forget to bring my key fob. It's an Anytime Fitness, so you just key fob in. And there's like a rotating cast of people who work the gym, and wife swipes in. I don't. I walk in with her. I can tell the dude working the office is kind of like, and they must see like on the computer, one person swiped in, the other didn't. So I don't swipe in. I can see him kind of like give me a funny look. And it's like 10 minutes later. We're over there like in the weight room part, like lifting, and the guy comes over with an iPad. He's like, hey, I didn't see you swipe in. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot my card. And the last person there like was, I've renewed my membership. So when she saw me walk in, she'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. I also don't think she gave a shit. It was awesome. And this guy's like got the iPad. He's like, oh, can I just look you up by name? And my wife is just incredibly uncomfortable. The roommate was like, oh my God, Jesus, the rule follower, and her just couldn't handle it. And I was like, yeah, here's my name. And then like they couldn't find it, and I could just see her like shaking. It was fantastic just to see her get uncomfortable in a situation like that. I loved it. And then got new pillows. Been using some pretty old busted up pillows and having this like neck and back thing. I think it's because when I drive, I kind of get like a little lean forward. I just have terrible posture sitting in a car. And then as I sit here at my desk too, like doing this, I can feel myself like leaning up as opposed to like sitting back. And this chair is a piece of shit that I got for like $60, I think. But I got some new pillows. I got a memory foam pillow and then like another like nice good pillow. And like these aren't even like that great. I think I paid like $35 for the memory foam and it was like $35 for the other set. Life changing. I've always just gotten like $10 pillows. Turns out you get what you pay for. And I've always been a big believer of what goes between you and the ground. You should be good stuff. Shoes, tires, your bed. Well, the pillow also goes between you and the ground. Got to use a good pillow moving forward. And I'm going to be stuck buying expensive pillows. I can feel it now. God. All right. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. As always, I just want to say thank you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the listens. Appreciate the watches. Thank you to producer Kevy for helping get us started down this video path. Thank you to my guy MJ for coming on and talking a little ball with us again. MJ is going to be back next week. We go to week 3 of our NFL preview. We'll be heading out west for the AFC and NFC West. And don't forget to check out MJ over at the FullRange Pod. You can find that on Apple and Spotify or on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. And if you want some sick merch like this here shirt, this here hat, whatever you need, get it at the merch shop. The link in the show notes below. MJ's got FullRange Pod stuff in there as well. And then we'll see you next week. We're back. More football, more golf, more bitching about my guards, any other dumb shit I come across this week. So till then, peace.